Hello, welcome back to Marvel Puzzle Quest with me, P.I. McLeod, and here we are, day 4074. 50 HP, Clea cover on the horizon there, tomorrow. Nothing big to talk about here. But we're here for our crash. Weekly crash, incoming. Hey, how you guys doing with your Bob quests? You remember them? I hope you did. Agent of Hydra Bob is here, he's our 2-star. Looks to be, might be pretty fun in the 4-star, 5-star land if you get them ascended up there. Obviously there's a vault that gives us a 4-star version of them, but you know, you gotta be lucky to get that or shell out some money and buy them through those deals. I don't necessarily endorse that, but hey, you know, you do you. If you want to pay the money for it, go for it. I'm more of a grind and earn it sort of guy, and that's what I'm here to, you know, help you guys with. No big deal, right? If you are interested in getting these quests done, and you might be, may I suggest going into the PvP to get them done? You probably already figured this out by now. You're smart people, right? But if you didn't, and that's no shame, just go into his verses, the dental plan, or a dental plan, and you run in here, and don't forget that whenever you go in here, you have your loner Bob. Now, if you have a Bob, and you probably do, he's 2-star, he's easy to get, right? It's going to automatically put him on the 2-star. You're going to automatically be set for the 2-star one because it wants you to use the one that you've earned. And that's all well and good, but that's not helping us achieve our 4-star quests. Those quests, and you know this, right? These says say activate 4-star ascended Bob's blah 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 power. Okay? And there's one for each of his colored powers, purple, yellow, and red. So if you go into a fight, don't forget to switch to your loner one so you can use the 4-star version of them. Unless you were lucky enough to pull a 4-star ascended one from the vault, or you bought one, or whatever you did, then, you know, kudos. Good on you. But if you're like me and didn't pull one, I just go in here with some of my 5-star chumps, put on some supports at work. You can see I just had Shang-Chi and Mighty Thor put through the ringer. It's okay. I don't care about the loss. It was a loss. Don't care one bit because I casted each of Bob's powers like 5 times. That's all I'm worried about. I just want to get those quests done, and then I can get back to smacking people around when I want, right? Why not? Let's get the quest done. At the end of the day, let's be honest. If you don't get the quest done, don't sweat it. They're 2-star covers. Do you remember what they... I mean, just because it's here, just because it's on the screen, doesn't mean you have to do it. It's not a chore. It's not homework. It's not necessary. Doesn't feed your 401k. You're okay. These are 2-star covers you earn as a prize. Let me click on that there. Yup, you get a 2-star Bob cover. How about this one? Yup, a 2-star Bob cover. If you don't get it, it's okay. Let's get back to what we were doing, right? I'm going to go into the story mode. Deadpool Daily. And we're crashing a Titan today. Just one singular Titan, but as we always do here on this channel, I like to give a little bit of history lesson and the idea behind the 2 characters that are at play. In this case, we're going against Rhino. 4-star Rhino came into the game, jeez, what, a few years back, at least 3-4 years ago now? Dang, it's been a while. Like, unfortunately for Rhino, well, okay, let's start with the positives. Rhino came in as a almost better Sabretooth. It's true. People think about Sabretooth when they think about eliminating strike tiles and getting rid of strike tile peoples. But what they don't tell you is that Rhino does it as well, and he actually does more match damage, and he actually does a lot of board shake. And oh yeah, he doesn't need strike tiles. He can do it on protects and attacks. It's true. Look it up. His abilities are pretty darn good. His blue is his passive. His blue is what lets him take less damage from incoming things, to put out more damage on his colors, black, green, and blue. Okay. It's kind of like 4-star Juggernaut in a little way, but like a truncated version. It's not as cool as Juggernaut's, but it's pretty good still. Okay, you don't want to look down upon it. It's situational, but most times it comes into play. Let's call it what it is. It's half the colors on the board, and resisting damage is never something that goes out of style. His black is an ability that quite simply just creates some enemy tiles and does some damage. Now, of course, the enemy tiles are there at a very minuscule level, and they're there for you to use to just match away and have some fun with. It's food for him. it's kind of like how Sabretooth will make some damage one strike tiles. It's for himself. And the same thing with Rhino. He'll make some really small tiles, and it's for himself to play with. But finally, there's the green. We don't talk about the green much. Hey, what's going on, Amos? Good to see you, dude. Whoa. Okay, game. Just tell me when you want me to kick out. There you go. Rhino's green is a nice little ability that does some damage, and it does damage in board shake. That's the important part. And by board shake, I mean it actually destroys a few tiles around the board. But if it happens to destroy some actual special tiles, and by special I mean strike, attack, protect, it's not all of them, he'll actually stun. He'll stun opponents. And then he'll trigger his passive, the passive that states when you destroy or match away an enemy tile, you do some more damage and he jumps to the front. It's a whole thing, and he's quite good at it. He's really good at taking down Polaris and Rocket and other people that love to rely on special tiles like that. Again, just the strike, attack, protect types, not every special tile. He's a good character. He's really good, and honestly, he doesn't get used enough. That being said, we gotta go beat him into little pieces now. Spider-Man Oscorp is here. Now, unfortunately, I don't think this is... Even though Rhino is Spidey's enemy, I don't think this Spidey is necessarily always the best one to use against Rhino. Or vice versa. They don't really hurt each other in some of the grand scheme of things. Here, let me explain. Let's go into it. First, I'm going to take off my boosts. This Spider-Man does something that a lot of characters don't do. They, A, lock down tiles, and B, they do it passively. That doesn't happen. That's really weird. And no, before you ask about it, if you looked at my previous videos with Luna Snow, no, his locks do not help Luna out one bit. Webbed locks are different than regular locks that Luna likes to use. Same thing for Quicksilver. His locks are these little blurred speedy locks, whatever you want to call them. Not the same as web locks, and they're not the same as Luna's normal plain old locks. Okay? So, that out of the way. He does this passively. I'm gonna click into, I think is it the glider? Yes, it is. I'll put it at 5 just for S&Gs here. At the start of the turn, the spider glider locks 2 random enemy trap. That's kind of weird and awesome. Countdown or repeater tiles, unlocking any tiles previously locked by this ability. So this is a really unique ability in the game where basically, let's talk 3-star Wanda, right? She puts out a countdown that says, hey, in like 3 to 4 turns, it's gonna create a bunch of purple tiles around it and go away. Yeah, he just locks that. Wanda's like, oh, I'm gonna create some purple, and Spidey's like, nah, not today, not cool. I don't agree with that. Doesn't sit well with me. Gore could come out there with his 3 repeaters, and Spidey's like, nah, 3's too much. You can have 1 of them, and he locks 2 of them up. They won't do anything. Locked tiles literally have no effect until you unlock them. Now, he does unlock them at the start of the turn, but then he relocks up 2 tiles. So if the enemy gets more than 2 out there, then of course it's a crapshoot about which one you're gonna get. So take that for what it's worth. But it's really fun for shutting down things that people rely on. If enemies rely on certain tiles all the time, oh, I don't know, Omega Red's countdown, Spidey takes care of it. He locks it down. Says, nope, you don't get that. We don't get to play with that toy right now. On the active side of things, for 8 blue, choose an enemy and create a 4-turn countdown tile. While the tiles on the board, the character's abilities are disabled. We just talked about abilities we don't see that often. Here's another one. He disables someone's abilities. So not only is he locking down tiles that are helpful, oh, I don't know, Kitty Pryde's repeater, the circuit breaker that goes around deleting tiles. Now we're just going to lock that down right now. And oh, if I cast this blue, you get no powers. It's kind of like the ultimate parent. He's like, you're in timeout, and if you do one more thing, you're grounded. And while there are 4 more web tiles on the board, that character also takes 75% increased damage. So it's a good ability all around. There's nothing wrong with this blue ability. So I'm going to move forward from there, though. This isn't all he has to offer, and it's just one tiny lick of it. Next is the Oscorp egg bombs. Let's put up to 5 so you guys can see the full effect. For 6 purple, well, you know, let's start with the passive. That's always more fun, right? You know what? This is one of those passives that it actually relies on the active, and I usually like to read it passive first, but I don't think it'll make sense. So let's go the other way around. As an active for 6 purple, you deploy these Oscorp egg bombs, which spawn 3, and I have it at level 5. Just keep in mind, 1 turns spider bot repeater tiles up to a max of 3. When they activate, they move to a new random tile and leave a web tile behind. For 6 purple, basically you get these repeaters that will move around the board and creating 1 web when they move. Okay? Here's the passive part that relies on them. When a spider bot has activated 2 times, or when you reuse this ability, so you can re-get 6 purple and just cast it again, it becomes a trap tile that deals damage, stuns the enemy for 2 turns, and then activates all the other spider bot trap tiles when matched. When it says activate, that means you get the damage from all of that. It's like tripping 1 tripwire to get the entire explosion. Make sense? When Spider-Man takes up to X amount of damage, he just creates a 1-turn spider bot. Very handy. Very super handy because you're getting extra webs out there via free repeaters that he will create when he takes X amount of damage. And it's a potential stuns as well. There's nothing wrong with this ability. It's a pretty darn good one. Sure, it makes traps, and traps can be overwritten, but you got traps, you got repeaters, you have outgoing damage, you have stun, all in this nice little package here. It's a pretty good ability. And finally, there's his special delivery, the Spidey Punch. For 7 red, he deals just a basic nuke damage plus damage for each web on the board, up to 15. It does have a cap on it, but it converts all webs to basic tiles, then it creates 3 more webs. So it can deal a lot of damage. It can deal very little damage. It really just depends how many webs you have out there, and if you're willing to lose said webs. Depending on who you're teaming him with, maybe you want to keep those webs around for, I don't know, maybe Miles Morales wants to match him away, or Spider-Gwen's using them for healing. You get the point, right? But if you have no use for those webs, go ahead, punch away, create 3 more webs, and let that nuke fly. I like to use them at 544. In this case, I said it earlier, and I'm circling back around to it. He's not that much use against Rhino. Rhino's not creating a countdown or a repeater or a trap tile for him to lock up. If anything, the only thing I got going for me is that Rhino will do extra damage because of his passive, and that's going to trigger these Oscorp egg bombs. He's going to put one out automatically when he makes his matches, and that means I'm going to get free webs. I'm going to get a potential free stun out of this if I get those traps matched away. And of course, those webs are going to help feed this big old red punch. So it won't be bad if I get the blue to disable Rhino, but I'm not so worried about that on this one. Okay, before I get into the fight, what do I always do? I always forget to go in and turn on the animations for this one-on-one fight. It's like a trademark. I swear it is. I've been doing this for so long, and I keep forgetting before the fight starts. Okay, Rhino. Rhino versus the Oscorp Spider-Man. Let's go. Just so you could see what I was talking about earlier. There's his blue. It takes 25% less damage from enemy powers. Can't say no to that, and that's level 3. He put that as his 3. You put it up to 5, you get a lot more out of it. Friendly projectiles are 10% more effective for Rhino if he's in the front. I kind of forgot about that, honestly. And then Rhino's red, green, blue, and black base match damage is increased by 85%. It's more when he's up to 5. Okay, so that said, let's get into it. We want purples, we want reds, we want blues. But if we're being honest, Rhino wants the greens and blacks. He will match the blues away as well, but he's not going to use them. It's all passive for him. Still, I'd rather have the blues than him. I'd rather just lock down his abilities, right? So let's get some of that rolling. I don't want him taking my blues. There we go. Already got that trap triggered. Spider Bomb's got their trap triggered. He got stunned for a turn. And so he missed a whole turn just because of that. Alright, time to see an ability. Here comes the egg bombs again. So the passive is the same animation as the active animation. No big deal. Let's see if we can get enough blue to cast his blue ability, right? Give me that one. There we go. I think we're going to get it out there. Spider Glider. There you go. So now that that's out there, Rhino can't use his powers. And while there's 4 more webs out there, the character, he's going to take 40% increased damage because I have it at level 4. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 web tiles. So it looks like we're good to go. Boom. That's a good chunk of damage for 7 red. Let's hit up what? Well, I'm going to say this green because I don't see a good purple match or red match out there. I don't want to match my blue tile away. I want him to stay disabled. So I'm going to match that green so he can't take it. I'd rather him not do his board shake that could result in a stun, basically. You can see how these little spider bots come in handy. They just kind of zip around the board, doing their own matches, doing their own thing. Super handy. There's the extra damage. We have traps out there now. We're going to trigger one, which is going to make them all blow up. Remember, that was a little over 1,000 damage for each trap. So just making that one trap go off triggered all of them. That was a lot of damage outgoing to Rhino. I'm not saying Oscorp Spidey is awesome. He's not meta, but he is good. You can definitely use him to some awesome length. May I remind you that Miles Morales can generate purple, red, and blue AP with his passive. Oscorp Spidey loves partnering with Miles. Just a thought. And there we go. That is Oscorp Spidey's Crash the Titans. Nice and easy. I hate doing it like that because it makes it look like Rhino is worthless and nothing, and he is not. He's actually a really good character, but you know, we're the player. We have we don't have a handicapped AI to work with, so obviously we take advantage of the shortcomings. So hopefully you do too. Okay, thank you for joining me, Amos. I will see you guys really soon. Just keep in mind that it is what I'm looking at 8 days until Christmas. Marvel Puzzle Quest every year runs their 12 days of Christmas, so it should be upcoming really soon, which means I will be running probably a video about that, if not in pieces, in one sort of short, something along those lines. It's in the playlist already from previous years if you want to go and check it out before it even hits. Okay, thanks. Have a good one. Bye.